Have you ever heard the opinion that Buddhism is a negative religion, holding back human development? These thoughts often stem from misunderstandings and prejudices. In reality, Buddhism does not promote negativity. It seeks to help people overcome suffering, find joy, and attain enlightenment. Join us as we explore the positive aspects of Buddhism and shed light on common misconceptions. Welcome to Buddha's Teachings. Together, we will explore Buddhism in an objective and comprehensive manner. One of the common misconceptions about Buddhism, which I often hear, is the view that Buddhism carries a negative and pessimistic tone. Those who express this belief usually base it on the fact that Buddhism focuses on topics such as death, illness, suffering, and tears. They wonder, why did the Buddha emphasize these gloomy aspects of life? Is there nothing joyful or happy to talk about? This question naturally leads to a larger inquiry. Is Buddhism truly negative? And to answer this question, we must delve deeply into the essence of what the Buddha was really trying to convey. The reason some people are quick to conclude that the Buddha's teachings are tinged with pessimism and negativity lies in the first noble truth. However, in reality, this truth contains a profound understanding of the nature of life. So, what is the first noble truth? It is dukkha in Pali, often translated as suffering or stress. Yet these words fall short of capturing the full meaning that the Buddha intended to convey. When he spoke of dukkha, he wasn't just referring to pain and hardship, but was also exploring the truth of dissatisfaction, the constant fluctuations of life, and the impermanence of all things. You might think that suffering is simply pain, but this overlooks the fact that life has many moments filled with joy and happiness. So why did the Buddha focus on what seems to be such a negative aspect? It was not to deny joy, but to point out that even moments of happiness are not permanent. We are trapped in a cycle of expectation and disappointment, and it is precisely the deep understanding of dukkha that holds the key to transcending it. In his first sermon, the Buddha presented the first noble truth, dukkha, with profound words. Birth is suffering, aging is suffering, death is suffering. Sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair are all suffering. Being with those we dislike is suffering. Being separated from those we love is suffering. Wanting something and not getting it is suffering. In summary, the 5 aggregates of clinging are suffering. At first glance, these words may lead some people to conclude life is nothing but suffering. And this is precisely why many misunderstand Buddhism as focusing solely on negativity and pessimism. However, if you reflect more deeply, you will realize that the Buddha did not stop at merely describing suffering. He was revealing a profound truth about the nature of existence. Buddhism is not negative or pessimistic. On the contrary, it is a light that illuminates reality, guiding people toward true understanding, helping them transcend illusions to attain liberation. After presenting the first noble truth, the Buddha went on to explore the second noble truth, or samudaya, to point out the origin of suffering. According to the Buddha, the root cause of suffering is not simply events or circumstances, but tanha, or craving. This is the relentless desire and attachment to everything, from material possessions to emotions, and even to our very selves. Imagine holding a hot stone. If you continue to grip that stone tightly, you will only burn your hand and feel pain. Similarly, when we cling too tightly to our desires or cannot let go, we create suffering for ourselves. The Buddha taught that craving and attachment not only cause us to feel pain, but also hinder our ability to find true peace. Understanding the origin of suffering helps us realize that suffering is not something unavoidable, but is tied to our desires and expectations. Once we recognize this, we can begin the process of changing how we approach life, learning to let go, and finding peace within ourselves. However, the good news is that the Buddha did not stop at pointing out suffering, but also opened the path to liberation. He introduced the third noble truth, nirodha, or the cessation of suffering. The Buddha taught that the end of suffering is not an abstract concept, but a practical practice, by abandoning the root cause of suffering. This involves the realization that when we can let go of the causes of suffering, craving and attachment, suffering will naturally fade away. Liberation is not merely the absence of suffering, but the attainment of a state of inner peace, where the bonds of suffering no longer hold sway. Finally, when the Buddha introduced the fourth noble truth, we encounter the Noble Eightfold Path, a spiritual map guiding us from suffering to peace. More than just a set of principles, the Noble Eightfold Path is a profound path of knowledge and practice, encompassing 8 aspects of morality and wisdom. Like a great astronomer pointing out the way among the stars, the Noble Eightfold Path clearly outlines the path to liberation from suffering. It is not merely a method for improving life, but an integrated system that helps us cultivate wisdom, morality, and mindfulness. From this perspective, Buddhism is not a negative philosophy, but a practical system aimed at liberation. The Buddha not only revealed the nature of suffering, but also laid out a specific path for us to escape the confines of suffering and attain lasting peace. The Noble Eightfold Path is not about renouncing reality, but about deeply understanding and living more fully in each moment of life. Buddhism is not just a path guiding us to understand and overcome the suffering of life, but also a treasure trove of wisdom, opening the door to discovering the deep and true value of ourselves. Buddhism invites us not only to confront the truth of suffering, but also to lead us to a profound awareness of the nature of personal value, helping us transcend the limits of the material world to seek deeper meaning in life. To clarify this idea, let's explore a simple Zen story that carries a profound philosophical message, offering a fresh perspective on our true value. This story is not only a lesson about recognizing value in a specific object, but also a lesson about self-awareness and how we evaluate ourselves in different circumstances. One day, a wise Zen master told a young monk, "Take a large stone from the garden to the market and try to sell it. If someone asks the price, just hold up 2 fingers. If they make an offer, don't sell it. Bring the stone back. I will tell you its true value." The next morning, the young monk took the stone to the market. A housewife passing by looked at the stone and asked its price. The monk held up 2 fingers, and the housewife offered $2. When the monk shook his head, she increased the offer to $20, as she wanted to use the stone for making pickles. The monk thought, "Someone is willing to pay $20 for a worthless stone, while there are many more stones in the mountains." He did not sell the stone and returned to the master. "Master, someone was willing to pay $20 for my stone. Can you tell me its true value?" The Zen master replied, "Take the stone to the museum tomorrow. If someone asks the price, hold up 2 fingers. If they make an offer, don't sell it and bring the stone back. I will tell you its true value." The next morning, at the museum, many people gathered around the stone. One person offered $2,000 to carve a statue from it. The monk was amazed, but followed the master's instructions and brought the stone back. "Master, today someone offered $2,000 for the stone. Can you tell me its true value?" The master smiled and said, "Take the stone to the antique shop tomorrow. If someone offers a price, don't sell it and bring the stone back. I will tell you its true value." The next day, at the antique shop, people were very curious about the stone. One person offered $20,000. As the offer increased to $200,000, the monk returned to the master, excited about its financial potential. "Master, today someone offered $200,000 for the stone. Can you tell me its true value?" The Zen master gently replied, "My child, the value of your life is like this stone. If you place yourself in the vegetable market, your value is $2. If you place yourself in the museum, your value is $2,000. If you place yourself in the antique shop, your value is $200,000. The values vary depending on where you position yourself and the choices you make." This story will take us on a journey not only to explore the value of a stone, but also to discover the value of ourselves. As we reflect on this Zen story, we will realize that value is not a fixed attribute, but a flexible aspect that depends on how we perceive and the circumstances we place ourselves in. Thus, Buddhism is not only a path to liberation from suffering, but also a guide to exploring and understanding our true value in this life. Do you think Buddhism is only for monks and nuns? Join us as we explore new perspectives on Buddhism and discover its practical values in modern life. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help build a community of Buddhism enthusiasts. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment below.